Longtime Houston resident Mike Guo has lived an extraordinary life. Born and raised in Taiwan, Guo left his home for the U.S. in his early 20s, where he earned his master's and PhD in food science and technology. In the 1980s, he went to work at Johnson Space Center in Southeast Texas, developing the food program for NASA's space shuttle astronauts.
The food totally different from all the previous astronaut food. So they needed somebody to develop this new packaging, new type of food, and they start to have a quality control program. Then I was hired as a quality control and nutritionist there.
Houston was also where Guo came out as a strong critic of the authoritarian government in Taiwan and a supporter of the country's independence. That came with consequences. Guo was blacklisted in Taiwan in 1974, unable for years to visit friends and family back home. At risk of arrest, he traveled to Taiwan in 1991, but not before taking a few precautions, changing the name in his U.S. passport, growing a beard, and donning a wig.
That time I have, three young children, so I decided to use the legal way, but the way they couldn't prevent me from entering.
The ruse worked. Guo was able to enter Taiwan right under the government's nose. It was so convincing, the authorities didn't realize what had happened until he was leaving, apprehending him at the airport.
I appeared in a public event, and there's 200 policemen surrounded us, and faced by the individual, they used my picture to compare each attendant, and I was there.
Police interrogated Guo for over 9 hours before the U.S.'s de facto embassy intervened, and he was let go. Taiwan finally removed him from the blacklist the following year. Guo's more adventurous days are now behind him, but even at 75, he remains committed to the causes that motivated him back then. In Houston, he has helped foster a community of like-minded Taiwanese Americans. The group's base here at the Taiwanese Community Center, not far from the city's Chinatown. Since 1992, the center has offered a social and cultural space and provided language classes and activities to the more than 7,000 Taiwanese Americans living in the greater Houston area. It also houses a curated collection of books and historical items on Taiwan. The founders say their initiative has received broad support from the local government.
We list the mission as to enhance the public understanding of Taiwanese American culture, and also to do community services, and then also to foster Taiwanese education for our next generations. So for that, we were able to be registered as a cultural and educational nonprofit organization.
That investment in the younger generation has paid off. A small but growing group of dedicated young people is now helping move the organization that runs the center forward, bringing new energy and new ideas.
I feel like we can have more diverse events. That's what drives me want to contribute. So, for example, I am a big coffee drinker. So I feel like I know Taiwan has very, very good coffee. So that's why I feel like maybe we can have like Taiwan coffee tasting event like that.
From grassroots activism to community building, these Taiwanese American Houstonians have come a long way, creating a small slice of Taiwan in their adoptive home. Devin, Tsai, Leslie Liao, and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.